Happy Friday, everybody. All right. We have had a lot of talk, and we've been through a great seminar with Angel. And, this does give Partha a break. And so, excellent. But, a great awakening is happening. No doubt about it. Just on so many levels, on personal levels, on just so many levels. A great awakening is happening. And I was talking about this morning, Tim Pool, who is a young reporter and journalist. It's interesting watching him grow him and going through his own awakening. So very cool. All right, guys. It is wine 30, and Angel said that wine is an okay thing. Grapes are gently nourished and nudged into giving us that wonderful grape juice. So I am going to go grab a bottle of wine, and I shall return. And let's give you some music to hang out by. All right, I'll be back in a second, guys. All right, here we are. It is officially wine, quarter to wine here in beautiful Spain. And I am the Breadcrumb, and you are the Fellowship of the Crumb. You are on breaking news all the time. You have amazing analysis that comes out of this group, and you have amazing teachers who give us the information, the background, and also proof and case of how these things affect us. You know, and the flip side is, yes, right, we are going into a new age. Sure, we are going into a harvest. Exactly. There is something breathlessly wrong with the sun, the moon, and the stars. But we still have to go to work. We still have to pay bills. The kids have to go to school, and Angel needs a new computer. You know, I mean, so we have to function in this reality while preparing for the new reality. That's confusing, man. That is absolutely confusing. So, welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm glad to see you. I'm just sitting down now with the bottle of wine. This is our Freud's brand. It is a store brand. But it's still a Rioja, and it's still an incredible bottle of wine. And you are incredible people, and thank you for all that each and every one of you have done for this Breadcrumbs project. I mean, everybody here, Tabitha, CJ, Epic, Katie, all y'all, Michelle, all y'all have contributed significantly to this. Do you realize that? Do you understand that each and every one of you has contributed a significant amount of information, wisdom, compassion, understanding? It's amazing. And I'm proud. I am proud of the work that we've done here. And now I look for the wine opener, which I believe fell. Oh, come on, guys. Don't tell me I have to get the other bottle opener. Where did that guy go? All right. Be right back. Somehow it walked itself into the kitchen. This is my Trader Joe's bottle opener. Anybody in America knows who the Trader Joe's is, and most of y'all are big fans of it. All right, so yeah, it is quarter to wine, and here we go. Yeah, I left the screen on. I didn't want there to be any music, but you know, I made a blunder. Got to see me in reality do what I had to do. Yep. And I mean, it's 14 of us. We're behind the scenes. This is all family. We're hanging out together on a Friday night. No, I don't have a cat bowl, but I happen to have a fine replica earthenware of a drinking vessel, circa, let's say 1000 BC. No, I'll go 500 BC. Cats were never allowed to drink out of such vessels unless they were special and temple cats like my cat is, who's allowed to drink out of, well, she gets a saucer. Cheers, old bean. Pip, pip. There, Andrew. Yeah, for us in Europe, it is Friday night. For y'all in America, it is Friday afternoon. BC before cat. Before cat, this was not a cat bowl. I sure hope this didn't turn. Uh-oh. Oh, God, no, thanks. Yay. Boy, that was scary. Turned. All right. I had to test it before toasting it, guys. Sorry. But this goes to all of y'all, man. Every single one of you here, and many of you that couldn't make it on Friday night. Sandra has a daughter who is going to be giving birth. Sandra's going to be a grandmother. I don't know if this is her first. Andrew, do you know if this is her first grandchild? So that's exciting, so exciting. And like I said, everybody here has contributed so much. And you're learning so much too. And you're preparing for the great journey. And you have no fear. We have no fear for what comes. Because we've taken the time to educate ourselves. Sure, we were wrong in some instances. But for the most part, we are now over the target. And really doing quite well. We've been able to merge ancient religions with the law of one, which is an amazing research project, and the Ra came to disseminate this information to prepare for those who wanted to learn, because Ra is all about teach, learn. For those that wanted to learn, they were presenting what is to come, what is, and what we should prepare for. And I'm getting all this because of you guys. So thank you. Thank you. If it wasn't for this channel and the live streams that I was having, Angel would have never happened in here, and I never met Partha, and that triangle, that powerful triangle of the three of us would have never happened, and you guys would never be experiencing this. So the synergy of us, the synergy of the fellowship of the breadcrumb has just brought us to truth. So cheers. Here's to you, fellows of the crumb. And a fellowship we are. And all... Hey! Mercatino. Marketalino. I'll get there sooner. It's hard for me to start, but when I get there, I get there. Marketalino. Mark. All right, Mark. Thanks, baby. Epic and I can do that. Good to see you again. To the fellowship, Katie. To the fellowship. Cheers to all y'all. I mean, we are a fellowship. Just like the Lord of the Rings. We are on this great adventure. I don't have big feet. Katie, it's amazing, man. It's hard to read. I'm enjoying it by audiobook. To me, hearing it by audiobook, I don't know. there's just so much information that I get lost in the feeling, but hearing it, vibrations, and I'm on a YouTube channel who has rendered it in voice. So meaningful, and the information is so on target. Hey, Crafty Child, welcome to the Breadcrumbs Project, and from Gettysburg. What an amazing, amazing community that is, and what history you have there in Gettysburg. So welcome. We are the Breadcrumbs Project. We are a fellowship. We work together. Everybody provides something, and everybody takes away something from this fellowship, and we're on a journey together. So most of the commenters you see here, yeah, audiobook's the way to go, Katie. We've been together for a month and a half now on a journey of exploration. It's been an intellectual journey, an emotional journey for many of us, and we are focused on the Great Awakening, which is a movement, something that every religion has spoken of, and we're using the Great Awakening map that has been generated by a brilliant shaman to focus our studies. Well, great, Crafty. Great, great, great. Oh no, the world is watching is not a good thing. The world is a dangerous place. I'm in Europe. I live in Europe. And Europe is not what you think, guys. Going to a country as a tourist is one thing. Living within a community is something else entirely. So the world is a backstabby, dangerous place. And there's nothing more backstabby than the Europeans, man. They did a job on the British. And the truth is, Europe needs England way more, or Great Britain way more than Great Britain ever needed the European project. The European project did so much damage to Great Britain. Oof. So Tabitha, yes, there are so many wolves in sheep's clothing around the world. No, Tabitha, do not wrap yourself up in this thing, man. Do not wrap yourself up because, like Graham says, like Michelle says, the Creator's in charge of this. This is your journey, your soul. You can't worry about anybody else. This is your individual. You have 70 to 90 years to do what you have to do to see if you can escape samsara, if you can be harvested. This is a journey. We're connected to the Creator. So everybody that acts the fool, they pay the price. All the Obama administration and all of the Clinton administration, all the shenanigans they engaged in, that's coming. Storm's here. Deep state getting their butt kicked, and it's going to be a prolonged butt kicking. The hardest ass whipping to take is the one that lasts a long time. As kids, once you had that fight, you just did a couple of things and it was over. Whew. That fight that went on 15, 20 minutes and y'all was just going after it when the big boys got after it. Oh, Lord, that hurt. Oh, my God. But when us small kids went after each other, we just, okay, all right, fine, man, all right, it's over. So no, this is all that deep state and all those that have been putting the pins to us before the Great Awakening, they're going to get their asses kicked. Hey, Lena. Absolutely. Good always wins. This whole riot thing, it's only happening in democratically ran cities, in democratically run states. the good people of America, the good folk, the Republicans, they ain't got that going on. You know? You go to rural America, you go to rural Louisiana, I don't want to hear anything about those Antifa kids. You know? They get along with their folk. Black folk and white folk, they get along. They live on different sides of the track, but they want to. Black folk don't want to be white folk. And, you know, you're welcome to come. No, we like to hang out with our folk. We like our music, we like our food. And we'll hang out with you when we're invited, but you don't have to invite us to everything. We're not like you. You know? You know, we can do things together, but we got to do things alone too. And that's all right. And you shouldn't be called a horrible name because you're obeying society's normalcy rules. You know that those people that are the darkest spies are the greatest patriots. If you spy for your country, you're doing it for a greater cause. It sucks to be a spy. Ooh, I've known CIA agents. It's hard, man. But the one thing that they have through and through is a deep, abiding love for their country. That's what makes a spy. Yeah, the Great Awakening is many levels, guys. There's the Great Awakening that's happening at this level and in our 3D level, with our governments, with society. Many things are really bubbling up in Europe. So a lot of cycles that have started here are ending here. And I think as the Great Awakening occurs, it happens on this physical level and on a metaphysical level. And it's a slow roll. Like the Hopi said, and like Ross said, this has been going on for 30 years. The end of the fourth age is a long process. It's not a done, you know. It's not a rapture at the moment. It is a long process, and it has been going on for a while. But it is reaching its crescendo. Obviously, take a look at the sun. Yeah, there's so much comet activity. Hey, Kelly. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ignore you, Kelly. I've been busy. What's your question? You have my undivided attention, Kelly, and welcome. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ignore you. Let me see if I can scroll. Oh yeah. Listen, a lot of people, a lot of our group have been awakened by being in our group. And many of you all are on your own individual journeys, as it should be. This is not a collective. Our souls are not a collective within this group. The only other person involved in our soul is the great creator. So each one of you has your individual journey. Andrew has his with the Pleiades. I have mine with being stubborn. You know, and everybody has all of their own individual journeys. So do take that. Just take heart in knowing that this chat will always be open, possible every single day while this is going on. You have a place to come to where you have friends and like-minded people, because a lot of us don't have that at home. Hey, Fitzpatrick. Transform into yourself. Angel's email address. I will get it for you. That is something I have. All right. Angel's email address. is coming up. Takes me a lot of clicks to get to where I got to go. Life, internet. Really happy with my setup. Got all my system going. And my internet's been having problems here and there, but since I have this new software that has combined all of my cell phone and my Ethernet fiber optics, everything's been flowing beautifully. No drop packets, nothing. All right, let's get into the live stream, and I can give you that email address. So yeah, guys, definitely embark on your own journey. Open your own doors. And as you do that process, you're going to bring back more information to us. That is the one person I can really speak to in this is Oh, Kelly. Yeah, no, it's this is, you can consider this an airport. You know, people fly in and people fly out all the time. They come in and get something they need, and then they leave, and that is fine. And then you got the other people that, you know, just at the airport. We work the airport. You know, your ticket takers, your bartenders. Got the comedy club. It's named Epic Forever Comedy Club. I'm sure you've heard of it. Finest Jester in Kent occupies that. All right. So I'm getting into the stream, and I am now going to post Angel Hope's email address. Nothing up my sleeve. Nothing under the watch here. This is going to be a copy and paste. Very proud. And booyah! Done. All right. There you go. Transform. You got it. You are so welcome. Cheers, my friend. Good to see you. Oh, boom, Fitzpatrick. Boom. That's what all of moving your frequency up is all about. You know, it has healing effects. You have the power to keep negativity out of your life, including people and activities. Yeah, emotions are part of vibration. There's a one-to-one relationship between emotions and your personal vibration. If you experience happiness, if you experience joy, if you experience peace, if you experience true love, you know, an unconditional love for humanity, that shit ain't easy. I'll tell you that right now. I love all y'all, but I'm sure we could get on each other's nerves real quick if we lived in the same house. That's hard to do, man. It's easy to say. But all of what we talk about with Partha and Angel, they aren't platitudes. This is all hard work and action to achieve these things. Yeah, I know. I like my bots. I like them. I think they're cute little things. Do the bots bother you all in the comments? Should I be removing those things? Yeah, and look, one of the things that you learn about being a network engineer and being deep in IT is you want to experience the bad things as well as have everything working. So I always had a computer that was off network that I would modem into. I would use a modem. I wouldn't get on network. I'd modem into, download my emails. Back in the day when they had viruses, and I had several Hotmail and Yahoo accounts, and I had an AOL account, and I'd get emails in there, and I'd see which one were virus related, just to get a feel of the activity that was going on before we had such good antivirus software. So yeah, the bots aren't bothering me just yet. They're bothering you. Okay, I'll start dumping them then. Yeah, old Logan. Good old Logan. No, they don't link up something. They're just trying to get attention. They're just trying to get clicks. They're just trying to get likes, activity, networking. Good point. Way to say it. Good job, CJ. Yeah. You know, and that's very Shakespearean as you put it. And we know that Shakespeare wasn't one person. But again, all the world is a stage. And we are but players. And we have to do our part as we see fit. If you think that you need to be a jerk, you know, to exist on this plane, that's your path. That's what you have to do. You know, just because we are seeking enlightenment doesn't mean that everything is good. You know, we are taking care of our own thing. You know, one of the biggest mistakes I personally see in people who are feeling that they are enlightened and they're seeking a better path, they suddenly have the ability to judge every fucking buddy else by the measure of their sudden enlightenment in doing yoga and hugging a crystal. Well, you're getting it wrong. Because fundamentally, if you are on your own path of enlightenment, anybody else's activity does not affect you, should not affect you. You need to keep those energies out of your system. You don't go judging what everybody else does. That's their thing. Somebody wants to be a hooker? Be a hooker. You ask my advice? I'll give you my advice. But I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. If you want to be a druggie, be a druggie. You know, you're going to suffer the consequences. For every action, there's an opposite equal reaction. It's not your responsibility. Once you get involved in somebody's actions and reactions, you then have your own actions and reactions. So the less you involve yourself in somebody else's energy, the cleaner your energy is. Your candle doesn't get any brighter by blowing somebody else's out. Yeah, man. Oh, Neil could write some lyrics, man. Oh, Neil could write some songs. You know what I found funny? Red Barchetta. That's right, Andrew. There's a lot of information. Ultimately, it is you that listens to you. And you can't look at all this information like anybody else is. You have a Pleiadian connection. You have to channel that. You can't worry about other distractions. Who's king, who's queen. That doesn't make fuck all difference in the end of the day. You know? Yours is a very unique journey that you should be spending time and focus in. And anything else becomes static and distraction. Oh, Katie. Dark Side of the Moon. You know, that that's just that's spirituality right there. You know, those guys didn't know what they were writing. You know, they knew they were doing something special, but they didn't know what they were writing. Wish You Were Here. I mean, that speaks to so many people on so many levels. You know, and I was talking about the Beatles. We were talking about the Beatles too, but the spirituality of Pink Floyd cannot be ignored. Yeah, Crazy Diamonds. Oh, that song makes me cry. But yeah, I mean, you know, and just like everything else, you'll never get 100% spirituality. You never get 100% of any of that. Like I said, if you get 80% on the money, you've done good, and 80% of Dark Side of the Moon is perfect, except for money. God, I hate that song. It's just me in my spirituality as I listen to the album. You know, thank God I have it on. I have it digital now, so I just cut that bit out, and I don't hear that song, and I can just listen to the whole song, and it flows so spiritually for me. That is, it is beautiful. Yes, they are human beings that do not have an inner voice. I was watching a video of a guy with his girlfriend. His girlfriend's like, "No, I don't have an inner voice. Me, I'm all chatty up in there, you know. Especially mornings, and most people, you know, shower time is when you have like conversations with yourself, and you know you have dialogue, and I've had some girlfriends that have been like, no, I don't have an inner voice. I talk my head off. I'll talk to you for hours, but I don't talk to myself. I drive myself crazy. Uh, oh, that's great, Kate. Oh, Gypsy Kings. Boom, man. If your hips don't move to Gypsy Kings, and you can't dance, man. Oh, those boys, they will raise that roof. Marco, we're not supposed to look at the moon tonight because it is an eclipse moon, and it's the worst one ever. So it is an eclipse moon, and it is evil from everything that Angel, Partha, and Rhoda have been able to tell us. Volare. Oh, Kate, what Pink Floyd were you listening to today? I'm curious. Did you answer that? All right. So my Zoom with meeting with Angel Hope has just finished. So tomorrow I'll have that edited, and hopefully I'll also have all the other information too. The PowerPoint, which was amazing, man. Yeah, Marco. I wish I could look at the moon too. Who never says evil? I never say evil. Dad ideas are tough. Yes. Yeah, nonstop external chatterers. So you were listening to Dark Side too. Man, I mean the song Dark Side of the Moon. Just all of it. You know what? I'll probably listen to that as soon as I get off the chat tonight. It does feel like a Dark Side of the Moon. And the drums. Boop, 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 boop. And that's the beauty of that album, man. It's just so clean. Everybody was at their peak when they did that. It's just the sound. You know, that was one of the first albums that was a headphone album. You know, Rush is a headphone album. Floyd is a headphone album. Everything else is speaker albums. You know, AC/DC. You don't want to listen to AC/DC with headphones. You want big speakers, and you want to sit there, and you want, for those about to rock, ah, we salute you. That's big and body. Floyd, Rush, that's intellectual. That's like right here. Sweet, CJ. After I get off of the chat this evening, I'm going full Pink Floyd vibe myself. Man, you know, ba-dum, ba-dum. Thanks for that, Kate. And that's the cool thing about the fellowship is we give and take. We give and take to each other. You never know what you're going to say is going to affect somebody else. The Doors. LA Woman, man. LA Woman just takes you there. Funny story about the Doors and LA Woman. So, have you all heard of Elvis? Elvis Presley, yes. Elvis Presley. One thing that Elvis brought, not only just raw talent and genius, but he really wanted to bring that black gospel music to rock and roll into the masses. Man, if you've been in a black church, you've been with a black choir, Indian, Indus Valley, Tibetan tradition, to raise your light takes a lot of work. You go to an authentic black church that has that choir working, and that's instant elevation, man. I don't care who you are. You can be as atheist as a Harvard PhD atheist, and you get in that black church 20 minutes into services, you're raising the Holy Ghost. You are raising the Holy Ghost. And I mean, and Elvis was very spiritual. Very spiritual. His mom, very, very spiritual woman. And so, and he, you know, because of his youth and upbringing, you know, he spent some time in some black churches and choirs and singing. That's where he developed his voice, his rhythm, and his talent. And that rhythm, that driving rhythm. And so he had his musicians get that black vibe, you know, get that gospel vibe. And so the Doors were trying to do LA Woman, and Jim just wasn't down with the vibe and the rhythm that they were bringing in. And you know, somehow in those days, you know, musicians talked to each other, and Elvis got wind that the Doors were having problems with some songs and some music, and they weren't getting that. They were just too California in their experience. So Elvis sends his bass player to go gig with the Doors. And they did LA Woman in their practice studio in one room together. Why? Because that bass player, that driving bass is something you've never heard before in rock and roll, man. Doors never had that before in their music. And that driving bass line, man, it just drives that song. And it drives Jim, and it drives the organist, and it drives the drummer. Everybody's chasing the bass line in LA Woman. And I mean, he is just taking those kids down the road, man. And he was an older guy. He had it going on. And LA Woman was one take in a practice room. Jim walked out. Mic drop. Boom. It was just a moment, man. That's why LA Woman is such magic. Yeah, raising the vibes. LA Woman does it. I'm not in a Doors kind of way right now. I'm definitely in a Pink Floyd place myself. But LA Woman that's just a driving song. You can't escape that bass, man. You're in that song. You're listening to that song. You're on that bass line. You know? You really can't follow Jim. You can't follow everybody's chasing the bass. Yeah, there was a documentary made, and it was fascinating. It was fascinating, and that Elvis was connected to the Doors like that, and made that happen. But Elvis saw the genius in Morrison, and the guitar playing, and the clavinova, which was the keyboard being used. I mean, he saw that. He said, the bass player is good, but he can't make it happen. He can't do what Jim needs him to do. A bass player can't do that. A bass player just keeps beat with the drummer. Like I said, everybody's chasing this bass line the whole song long, all song long, and you can and if you really listen to it, Fitz, and I think you will listen to it now. Go ahead, CJ. You got that look? Fitzsimmons, if you listen to LA Woman again, I mean, just listen to that bass line, and then listen to everybody in the song chasing him, and he'll pick it up. He'll send it up into into another octave, and all of a sudden everybody goes chasing him in the song, and not in a bad way. It's like it was a moment. It was energy, It was beautiful. Ah, CJ, I'm sorry if you're very attractive. That kind of sucks, my friend. Because it's hard for anybody to look past your looks. Justin Hayward and John Lodge. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Talk about going through the 45s and finding a gem. It is a problem. It is a problem. It is. You're never your own person, and it doesn't. And the person you're with, your significant other, is always feeling threatened because everybody that's attracted to your looks is attracted to you, looking at you for just superficial reasons. Yep. Yeah. You know, in the beginning, being attractive is wonderful, and then after a while, it becomes an absolute curse. I, as Michelle said, I'm handsome. I'm not very attractive, and um, I'm not unattractive. I just sit in that middle. But what I had the blessing of, I was fat as a kid most of my life. High school, I was overweight, and I'll always have weight problems, weight issues, and so that created an unattractiveness for me, for others. So I was able to develop myself, my beauty, my personality, um, and I didn't have to feed my beauty to remain acceptable in society. It's a weird dichotomy. Yeah, it's to thine own self be true, and I love being on my pretty much on my own as well. Oh, great, Kate. Have a great night. Give our love to your family. Let them know the Breadcrumbs Project says thank you for sharing a little bit of you with us. Thank you, Kate. Yeah, yeah. I have always chased attractive women for my own validation, but I've had to work at chasing attractive women. So attractive men don't have to work so hard, and 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 through that there is definitely an amount of security that can come in if done right. So I'm not knocking it. If you're an attractive person and you understand, you become aware, um, then you can live a better life. It's just you're just judged by your looks all the time. It just happens. I mean, you just nobody can help it. Nobody can help that facet of dealing with an attractive person because everything just goes off, and you're attractive and people want to make themselves attracted to you and want your attention. Um, do y'all remember the movie A Beautiful Mind? Do y'all remember a movie A Beautiful Mind? Yeah, we got to lift our vibrations, guys. I mean, that's what this is all about that we're studying here and doing. So one of the things that A Beautiful Mind um, figured out in his ways of thinking, which is the counterintuitiveness of intuition, is usually there's the attractive woman with her friends who are not so attractive. So usually an attractive woman has mostly less attractive friends around her. And back in the 50s, it would be the attractive girl and about three or four other girls would go to a soda shop, or if they were of age, they would go to the pub. And so, what I forget what his name was, the mathematician. But what the problem was is all the guys would go for the attractive woman, and then the unattractive girls would kind of be like, oh, and so you have four or five guys talking to that one girl, and then the other three girls after a while would be like just all talking to themselves and da da da. And so he figured, what if all the guys went and talked to the unattractive girls and ignored the attractive girl? What then? That is a mental thought of of true mathematics and true science, what would her behavior be? Well, she would start certainly seeking out the most attractive man that wasn't talking to her and try to engage him. And if he was part of the study, he would ignore her. And so she would go through the different levels of attractiveness until she could find someone to interact with. Very, very, very. Hairy arms, yeah. Bless Robin Williams. What a tortured spirit. Big arms, big forearms, and certainly very hairy. Yeah, it's funny, Fitzsimmons. A lot of people who thought they were ugly growing up suddenly find out, no, you were the bomb. You were hot. But nobody tells you. Yeah, Robin Williams played that. Just fascinating. And it's fascinating how humanity and the mind works. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to put my wine in the fridge. I am not changing screens. We are 13 of us in here, and we're family. We're hanging out. Oh, yeah. All right. Last little bit of the stream. Everybody's got things to do, places to go, people to see. Hey, Tabitha, you got a question? Hit me up. Oh, yeah. Men are 100% visual and women are 100% intellectual. 100%. It is the yin and the yang. Women are not necessarily attracted by the superficial, and after a while they get burned a few times. And many of my many attractive girlfriends have always said, no, I don't want to have, I'll flirt, I'll fling, I'll date somebody that's super hot, but we're not going long term because I don't need somebody that's more attractive than me, somebody that puts more work into their looks than I do. So, there's a balancing place. The one thing that a woman looks for is security. Their duty is to create the next generation. The number one thing a woman looks for is security. Yeah, women are born, men are made. I'm a construct. I have no understanding of the next generation where women have an understanding, a natural understanding of the generations and how that works. Nope. Fundamentally, I kill things and break things, fix things, and maybe take out the trash after the third time you ask me. Mental diagnostics are flawed. Tabitha, mental diagnostics is based on regurgitation. One of the biggest problems in psychiatry is everything that everybody bases their practice on is stuff that is published in periodicals and reviews and cannot be reproduced in laboratory environments. So 70% of what psychology is based on cannot be reproduced in a lab. And this is a crisis in not only psychiatry, but in all of the soft sciences. The hard sciences have no choice. Engineers, it's got to work in on the road, a bridge, a building, whatever an engineer does. It's got to be tested and tested and tested again, and it's got charts and calculations. But soft sciences like psychiatry is based on regurgitation. My second ex-wife, she has a degree in psychiatry, and she, like everybody else that goes into psychiatry, they're trying to figure themselves out. And she gets in there, and there's no real study of the mind. It's just regurgitation, and it's the opinion of the professor. Interesting, Fitz. Interesting. CJ, you are right. Women are concerned about men's future, and men only care about a woman's past. You are right. It's frustrating, CJ. You're dropping gems tonight. Thank you. That's a very kind point. Men are spiritual, females are worldly. As Taoism would say, I would say that's a truism. Yeah, psychology is based on theory, and it's based on law of averages, and it's also based on what the ideal family, the ideal person, the ideal is. So your individuality, your spirituality, if you are afflicted by by our visitors and by other spirits in shamanism, if you're not aware of it within your own DNA, then it becomes a huge problem with a standard issue psychiatrist who's, a mom to 2 kids and got a psychology degree without actually understanding spirituality and the fact that channeling does occur. And so they want to put you in a home directly, whereas all you got to do is channel, set that vibration free, and you're a happy person. Tabitha, you're right. I wouldn't believe what they've told you. That it's brutal sometimes. That's right. Your brain can be your worst enemy. Females are linked. Men cannot understand the frequency and emotion of a woman unless they attune themselves to those frequency and those movements. And even then, they don't have the same experience. They can only look at and understand. Sweets, that's right. Can you carry the cross in your burden and do it well and in a distinguished manner? Or do you surrender to society? Yeah. You know, Fitz, and you make the point here again, is the Creator in creating us the way we're created. It's just dichotomy after dichotomy after dichotomy after dichotomy. You know, it is just chaos. You know, the interface between men and women were so different and so, but need each other so much. And yeah, men mature in a whole different way that women mature in age. Um, and you know, unfortunately, uh, women's looks and value in that sense happens at a young time, and as they mature and get better and wiser and more wonderful, the appreciation of that diminishes because everybody's looking to the physical as men go, you know, and yeah, and somehow men, we get older, we get wiser, we get better, we get a little more distinguished, and we look at our mistakes and go, what in the hell did I? Can I just talk to that 20-year-old for 15 minutes? Yeah, it's part of the, it's part of the journey that your soul is on. You know, there wouldn't be the strife, there wouldn't be the journey, there wouldn't be all of it if it wasn't for the chaos that we have. So God understood, and one of the oldest written sayings in Samaria is, a man cannot wait for the day that he gets married. And his next favorite day is the day he gets divorced. That's a Sumerian saying. That's an 8,000-year-old saying. So even back then, the Creator understood and created the conflict between man and woman. Yes, love and passion is beautiful, but to maintain it is hard. And so, you know, each soul will struggle. You think, oh man, once I get married, I get joined in the beauty and love of that, and the security of that love. And everybody's been married is like, man, that person is just driving me crazy. I don't know what I'm going to do with that human being. What in the hell were they thinking? Why do they spend that kind of money? You know, and it's because that's the way we're created. Our individual soul is going to get beat up on, abused, and it's how we handle it that makes a difference. Thank you, CJ. Those are the kindest words that one could ever share. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that thought. Yeah, Fitzsimmons, that's the beauty of the process. There's naturally built chaos in humanity, and it's part of the Tower of Babel. We are a society. We are a species built with built-in dysfunctionalities that will ensure that we're not successful. And that's the whole point of the Tower of Babel. God said, I don't want them to have a spaceship. I don't want them to go to heaven. I don't want them there yet. These souls have a journey. They have something to do. So boom, confusion reigns. I don't know, Sweets. I don't think CJ meant it the way you meant there. In Spain, when you talk about your wife, even in her presence, es mi mujer. Ella es mi mujer. Not es mi esposa, but that's my woman. And that's how women explain themselves here in Spain comfortably. They don't feel, but they're part of a family. And the man hopefully is the head of the family and strong. I am his wife to support him and to have children. And in that way, we are an acknowledged family unit. It helps for the way things are here in Spain. Yeah, we're our realist nemesis, those troublemakers. Oh, there's storms. There are storms in Ireland. They probably don't have electricity. Well, realist is a Dutch man. I wonder where he is. I'll have to. It's Friday night. Yeah, CJ, it's the Bible. It's fundamental into our programming. It is, Sweets. It is. But if you're in a society that functions comfortably like that, where women don't mind being spouses and they function well as that, and don't want anything more or less, and that's kind of a lot of how it is here in Spain, because family is just so important. Man, to be a kid in Spain, boom. This country is for children. The towns are for children. And the mothers and the wives, they function and they are the concrete of all the small villages. And then the men just work their heads off. The men are working, they're doing their thing, they're being good fathers, they're being sound husbands. There's no messing about. And that works. You get into big cities and you get to America, relationships are complicated. Yeah, good point. If you cannot stay single, take a wife. If you cannot control your lust, take a wife. There you go. That's the math of relationships right there, Fitzsimmons. A successful man attracts all females. You are 100% right. All, married or single. A successful man, a very successful man attracts all women. There's just a reality to that. We are a very pre-programmed species, guys. It's not our fault that we think and feel that way. It's up to us what we want to do with it. Humans are what we call tournament species. We are. And it's not a terrible thing. It is just the how we're created, how we're programmed. And as much as we try to change it, we don't fix anything. We just change it. Yes. Yes. The idea of a man and a woman married is very, very, very new. It's within the last 2,000 years. It used to be harems, chieftains, many women and one man. I mean, this one-to-one thing really started with Christianity. I mean, the Romans had it, but for the most part, it had been in the past. One successful man would have 3 to 5, 8 wives, depending on his measure of success, and he would impregnate them all. No, CS and CJ, since we're having an intellectual discussion here, correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody that's inherited their money lacks depth of character. And that certain amount of money will attract a certain amount of women. But the quality woman that this person is looking for will avoid him because they know that person is not successful. It is someone that has worked hard for their money, someone that has worked hard for their intelligence. Anybody that's worked hard for what they have a certain depth of character that makes them attractive to the other sex. If you've just landed yourself into money, chances are you're pretty much a fucking emotional wreck and doing a lot of drugs and alcohol. That's as far as I've been able to know. I mean, all my friends that inherited their money, they were dumpster fires on fucking wheels. Yeah, alchemy. I enjoy my solitude. I very much enjoy my solitude. Good point, Sweets. Very good point. What a great conversation. God, and you know what the cool thing is here? We're having this intellectual discussion between men and women, and we can say these things and nobody's being called out for, oh, you blah, you blah, you blah. Our observations are being taken seriously at every level. Now, I appreciate this, guys. This means a lot to me. Yes, but it takes a lot of will to transcend those things. No, all millionaires, Spartan, you know, once you're a millionaire, people just look at you for your money. It's just like when you're attractive, they just look at you for your looks. You know, if you're a woman with big tits, all the men are going to be looking at your tits. So if you're a man if you're a millionaire, all anybody's going to see you for is a millionaire. And you have to worry about your millions. And then you have to worry about, all right, is this, how is this friend going to try to take my money? And that's why millionaires hang out with millionaires and billionaires hang out with billionaires, because the millionaires want to figure out how to take the billionaires' money and make themselves billionaires. You see? Attractive women hang out with attractive women. Attractive men hang out with attractive men. Nerdy people hang out with nerdy people. The Breadcrumbs Project has a fellowship. Okay, since it's 16 of us here, yes, I do wear a ring. But I'm not married to a woman. I am married to the Creator. Yeah, the women in the village, they have a hard time understanding my ring and me being single. Not having the wife here in the apartment. Yeah, Sweets. Genetics speaks volumes. It's a hidden science. So much hidden. Oh yeah, man. The Great Society, biggest problem that ever happened to America, what we're still suffering from right now, is Lyndon Baines Johnson telling a woman, don't worry, you don't need a man in your house. The government will provide. You go ahead and have all the children you want. And look at all those rioters. Those are all children from fatherless homes. Yep. CJ, right on the money. And you don't believe me about that? Go, look up Jericho Green. Big black California man. Big black. And he'll straight up tell you, biggest thing that ruined my community was there being no bass in that house. Nope, just the treble of the mother. There was no man in that house saying, boy, you run with those bad boys, I'm gonna snap your neck. You come home on time, you do your homework, you get ready for school the next day. But you ain't running in that hood. And that's what broke the black community. And CJ, the family needs a disciplinarian. The family needs a disciplinarian. I'm sorry. You got to have the love, and you got to have the carrot and the stick in the family. You got to be able to have mom be able to say, and when your father comes home, those were the worst words of my life. I could play mom. I had mom wrapped around here. But when I went overboard, my mom knew. My mom knew it, that she couldn't discipline me. But when dad came home, oh, it was going to be on. And I had to sit there and spend the rest of the day worrying about what my mom was going to tell my dad and how my dad was going to act. And I kept going, Mom, come on, Mom, don't tell Dad, please. No, son. No. And so that just made it worse for me. And my mom and dad both laughed. In my head, I had a Mandela effect. I got way more spankings in my head than my mom or dad ever gave me. You know, dad would get home, mom and dad would go talk, and I'd already be crying. Oh, I didn't mean, I didn't get. And so right there, the forgiveness, the redemption, the education, everything was done in my own head. My mom didn't have to do anything. My dad didn't actually have to do anything. You know, and fuck, man. When my mom and dad were disappointed in me, give me the spanking. Don't give me that disappointment. As I became older, you know, as a child, younger, I feared the spanking. If you're disappointed in me, it didn't mean anything to me. Then I got in my teens, that disappointment, that son, oh jeez, Mom, please don't do that. Can't you just take the shoe and hit me with it? No, son, I mean, that just doesn't make a day. I am just so disappointed in you. Oh my God, Mom. You know, the guilt. And that kept you in between the lanes. Busting out the numbers. Busting out the numbers. Now look, my dad had to take the belt to me. I think y'all pretty much, I'm hard-headed. I'm a hard-headed man. I was a hard-headed kid. And my mom's hand didn't work on my butt. So she used a Dr. Scholl's shoe. And I'm grateful for it. Yeah, Dr. Scholl's, a wooden shoe. Slipper wouldn't work on my butt. A shoe wouldn't work on my... It took a Dr. Scholl Heart of Pine shoe to get through my very hard butt to get through my very hard head. And my dad had to take the belt to me because his hand didn't work on my butt. I was hard-headed. 2 little swipes of that belt, boom. Didn't want the third. Spank me with that hand, 5 or 6 licks, it's all right. You got to apply the proper medicine to the illness, Fitzsimmons. You got to apply it. And, as a kid, I'm like, they're enjoying doing this, Jimmy. They're enjoying. And then you see a parent, and the worst thing they have to do in their life is discipline their kid. All my friends hate disciplining their kids. Just do the right thing. Why do we have to do this? Why does it have to go this way? Why are you being... All right, fine. You want a spanking? This is what you earned. You've worked hard for this kid. Parents don't want to do that shit. They want to be friends with their kids. I don't remember the belt. I remember the Dr. Scholl's shoe. What I remember is my dad reaching for the belt. I remember my dad, doing that move. But actually being with the hit with the belt, I think I have one memory of that. And my dad says it only took one time, boy. It only took one time. Every other time I reached for it, boom, you folded down, which is fine. I didn't want to do that anyways. But I think my dad told me that he only had to use the belt on me one time. But every other time, man, he was reaching for it. And then it got funny. My dad's from Denham Springs, from Louisiana. My mom's Basque, and I'm hard-headed, And I should have been a lawyer the way I played the game, the word games. So after a while, the fact that my dad was going for his belt, his little thin belt, didn't move me, because my dad had a big old thick belt that he got from his rodeo days that had his nickname Chuck on it, on the back of it. I mean, that with a big old belt buckle. And when he was mad at me, he said, I'm reaching for the Chuck belt, boy. I am reaching for that. God, no, Daddy, don't reach, don't do that. Not knowing that the Chuck belt never touched my butt and would never do any damage. His little thin belt that he wore in the 70s, in the 60s and 70s, was much more powerful. But it was the image of that Chuck belt that my dad reached up in that closet for it. I mean, that threw me into panic and fear, and I was the finest son at that moment. Yeah, once you get that belt, all they got to do is reach for it. It just took one time. It just takes one time. And that's, spare the rod, spoil the child. In the Bible as well. I mean, if you want a way to run humanity. Oh, I didn't take a picture of the sunset, guys, because there is no sunset. We had cloud cover. Here, let me grab the camera, do a UE on it. Oh, sorry, systems. So no sunset today. This is cloud cover, no sunset. So hopefully I'll get to see the sun tomorrow. Take a picture. And so that's the Atlantic Ocean. And those are some kind of a little bay that we have here on the Atlantic side. And then all that rock work there is ancient Celtic stonework. Really beautiful place. Yep, goes right there. Camera, be happy. You guys don't get mad. All right. So, yeah, structure, discipline, and it's all part of the family unit. Yeah, that's child abuse. That's not discipline, sweets. That's child abuse. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's sad when it comes to that. And that's the problem. You know, that's when you have stepfathers. Stepfathers aren't your father. They don't have the same. Yeah, the whole thing of stepfathers. I mean, that's just. I'm sorry, sweets. Yeah, any man can father a child. Not any man can be a dad. No, no, CJ, it's not a make-believe societal construct. Not at all. No. There is the yin and yang of life. There is the discipline of a father, and there is the love of a mother. And there is the love of the father and the discipline of a mother. They both have that, but in just different capacities. A woman cannot raise a good and proper family by herself. A man can't raise a good and proper family by himself. Because a woman doesn't understand a boy. My mom never understood me. Ever. Didn't know how to handle me. My dad, thank God, you know? Thank God he was there to be able to understand me and, you know, pull me out of situations with my mom where she just didn't understand why I was acting the way I was. So it takes a man, it's not a social construct, no, no. It takes a man to raise a boy, and it takes a woman to raise a girl. Because you don't raise a girl to be a girl, you raise a woman to be a woman. And you don't raise a man to be a boy, you raise a man to be a man. And my mother could only love and coddle me. She couldn't give me the structure and discipline that my father could, or that the U.S. military could. I needed that structure and discipline more than anything. So love is a powerful thing, and the most powerful energy in humanity. But you can't have love without structure and discipline. It's a cake. It's a building. Love without structure and discipline is nothing. Oh, Candy, we're a busy bunch, girl. Welcome, Miss Leftwich. We're all over the map today. Wow, Fitzsimmons, that's powerful. That is very, very powerful, brother. CJ, I don't believe in neuroscience. I don't believe in fuck all of neuroscience. I don't believe in NASA. I don't believe in JPL. I don't believe in psychology. Why? Because they produce papers that are peer reviewed. Neuroscience is a soft art. It's controlled by feeling and not getting people upset. It's not a hard science. So psychology, neuroscience, you know, neurosurgery, a neurosurgeon, yeah, neuroscience, that's the soft arts, that's the soft sciences, man. No, the real science of a family is a man and woman. There is nothing else. A man and many women, that's doable. That is actually doable. That is functional. Not a lot of people in society like that, but you have to have a man in the house. A woman cannot raise a man. And we're not picking on you, CJ, and I'm not picking on you, Sweets, but neuroscience is a pseudoscience. And and it's based on peer review papers and not actual reproducible laboratory science. And that's where our sciences have gone so bad, so south, so wrong. That's not what I mean, sweets. That's not what I mean. And please take it from me, who ultimately was raised by a single mother. Things happened in our house or my family. I'm not going to get into it. You raised your 3 boys, but you had your husband there. And those boys knew they had a dad, and they had accountability, and they knew you was working hard to raise them. Boys ain't stupid. But a single mother cannot raise a man. I'll never make sense to women. Women will never understand it. I get it. Every woman that has had a boy, well, I've raised my 3 children and they're good and everything else. It's not the same. And I'll never be able to explain it to you. And again, we're not in this group for it to be groupthink and hive mind and all agree. I need y'all to disagree with me. I need to disagree with y'all. That's how we come out with stronger science and stronger fundamental understanding of what's occurring. I get it, sweets. And this is too big of a conversation for 2 individuals to have throwing stuff over a fence. You're a great mom. You raised 3 good boys. I'm sorry he wasn't there, and you did a great job. You did, and that's powerful. Probably so, sweets. Probably so. All right, guys, it's Friday night. It is late. It is 10:18 my time. I am beat. I am exhausted. Taking tomorrow off and getting some rest and recharge these batteries. Because, guys, I mean, this has been emotionally, psychologically, and physically draining for me. This pace that I've kept up, and all of the knowledge that I've had to just cram in my head, and as y'all have had to, as well. So, we've done good work here. We've made great progress. We're the only channel that's talking about the Great Awakening and the individual of the souls, and exploring so much as we do. And I'm grateful for all of you. And all that you share and all that you do, and that you get to hear me out in some of my nonsense and some of my BS. So, it's what we do. Night, Tabitha. I'm glad you had a great time with us tonight. And got so much out there. Thank you for everything you said. I didn't get a chance to comment on it, but powerful. Have a great weekend, everybody. Do good things. Think good thoughts. Say good words. And yeah. You're welcome, CJ. All right, back at you. I hope we're good, sweets. Didn't mean to ruffle any feathers. I'm just a man talking. So, all right, guys. Have a great weekend. Have a great night.
journey, it began because you died. Out of your cell you ran and then you died. You paused to catch your breath and die another gruesome death, so now you creep around each corner terrified. Humanity restored and then you died. A graveyard to explore, ha ha, denied. For every step you take is just one more fatal mistake, so you must learn to take the torture in your stride. Bells chime, torment, darkest descent, every soul spent through descent. Down in the depths of the dead, feel the agony, scars from 1,000 wounds in your memory. Over and over, grind through the butchery. Once more you run this gauntlet of misery. That your mind is tough, come have a go if you think you're hard enough. Dive into death, embrace all the treachery, learn to enjoy the bloodshed and butchery. Bells chime, torment, darkest descent, every soul spent. Once more you die. restless coils. In constant toil we turn on torment's wheel. And death is a jealous mistress. A kiss you can't repeal. But wait for regret to come. It will call for you. It will tear the fabric of your nature. I walk without a name. Bathe in the lakes of fire. The snakes and liars of yore, they wore your face. Endure. Friends on the path of knowing are growing in your space. But wait for regret to come. It will call for you. It will tear the fabric of your nature. I walk without a name. I've walked the coiling lines, set back 100